Hello, my lovely people. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. This is Ask Your Midwife and your international midwife. So, I'm back from the long break. I'm back for good. There is this topic that is bothering a lot of people, and I want to touch quickly on it, and for us to just move on. And breastfeeding, breastfeeding. I think it has been a hurdle for most mothers, and today let's talk a little bit about breastfeeding. Okay, So what is breast milk? The breast milk is the baby's first food, okay? The ideal food for our babies, okay? So in the first 1,000 years of a child's life, breast milk constitutes the most important part of a child's life and is the first meal of the baby. So if the babies are not getting the breast milk, we are robbing the babies of their food. You understand? Aha. We eat 3 times a day. Some eat twice. Depending on how your stomach is, at least you should have, even if you don't have money, you eat at least twice a day. Okay, but these children and your food that you eat has all the nutrients that you want. Even if you eat Gary Soakins raw, you at least get energy from it. But it shouldn't be so, please. So, having said that, breast milk is the ideal meal for the baby in the first 1,000 days of the child's life. That is the only food. And it has all the nutrients in their right proportion: the proteins, the carbohydrates, the fats and oils, the vitamins, everything. This is straight from God. So, hey, it is in its right proportion. Okay, so what is this fuss about exclusive breastfeeding? People are saying exclusive breastfeeding here and there. Today, let's just settle in on that. Exclusive breastfeeding is where you breastfeed your baby solely on breast milk. Okay, solely on breast milk, without water, without food, without medication. So you only give the child medication when the child really needs it. You don't go and buy gripe water, you don't go and buy 7 C's cod liver oil, you don't go and buy, no. Everything the child needs is in the breast milk. So you don't need extra medications, you don't need extra things for the baby. Everything is in the breast milk. So please, let's save our money. Let's save our money. Every drug has its side effects, no matter how pleasant it is, no matter how pleasant it tastes. Every drug has its side effects. So I get so worried when our mothers introduce drugs to babies at this tender age. Please, their guts are very young and immature. Their system is so immature. So please don't let us introduce this. The only people we introduce vitamins to are the prematured ones. Okay, they need a booster. But if your child is not prematured and you have not been given any medication to give to your child, please don't. Okay, so exclusive breastfeeding is where your child solely survives on breast milk. You give only breast milk to your child, and it's done for 6 months. It's done for 6 months. Then after the 6 months, you are told the food to give to the baby. Okay, complementary feeds. That is where the child can feed on home foods. Okay, and your midwife, every midwife will direct you when it is time to do complimentary feeds. But we'll do complimentary feeds later on. Okay, I'll find another time for us to do complimentary feeds. So what are the benefits of breast milk? Why do we say your child needs breast milk, and why the 6 months exclusive breast milk? Okay, so the importance or the benefits of breast milk for the child is that first is the first vaccine for the child. Okay, so let's say it contains all the immunoglobulins, all the antibodies. I wouldn't want to bore you with so much terms. It contains everything that the child needs to fight infection. Okay, it's the first vaccine for the child. You understand it? So you go for weighing and you are giving vaccines here and there. Breast milk is the first vaccine for the child. Okay, so let's see this breast milk. When you give birth, within the first 3 days, first 3 to 4 days, the first few days of the child's life, okay, you see this yellowish breast milk that comes out. It's called the colostrum, and it has high amount of proteins, high amount of immunoglobulins, high amount of things that will make the child survive, things that will serve as building blocks for the child's immune system. Okay, so if you do not get that colostrum for the child, if the colostrum comes, the yellowish breast milk, if it comes and you throw it away, please and please again, you are really worrying your child. You are not starting your child for life well. It's a booster for your child. That is what forms the basis, okay, for your child's immunity. So your child needs it. And after the first week, after the first few days, within 1 week, the milk changes to suit the child's growing needs. Okay, so after the colostrum, you have what we call the transitional milk. Okay, so it transitions to suit the child's growing needs. That is within 48 to 72 hours. Then after that, after the first 1 week, that is when you get the matured milk coming. Okay, the breast milk, the matured one. So that is what has the watery parts, okay, the clear watery parts, and the thick part. Okay, so that one is in two forms. We have the watery parts is called the fore milk. Okay, so the child needs that. Then the hind milk is what is the thick one that comes behind. So your child needs both of that as well. So as we go on, you see, we will delve more into breast milk, because this topic is really on my heart. People are calling in here and there about breastfeeding issues and all that. So having said it's the first vaccine for the child, it's also clean and safe, because from your breast to your child's mouth, you don't need any utensil, you don't need water, you don't need to boil water here and there, you don't need feeding bottle for the child. So it's clean and safe. You get me? Yes, you understand. So then what else does it do for the child? For the child, it protects the guts, okay? Okay, the guts of the child, because it contains certain kinds of, yeah, as I said, it contains prebiotics, okay, protects protects the gut, and this feed on the good bacteria, okay, the good bacteria in the gut, that's warding off the bacteria that will cause the common one is diarrhea, okay, that will cause infection in the gut and prevent the child from getting diarrhea and other things. So breast milk is ideal. If you want gut protection for your baby, breast milk is ideal, because it will fight off the bad germs that cause diarrhea and other stuff. You see, when a baby is born, the intestines have holes in it. It's mesh-like, okay? It has holes in it. So, and it is the breast milk that is designed to pass through the intestines, the alimentary canal, the whole gut system, or I don't want to bring terms, but passes through for intestines, we know what intestines are. Okay, so that has to pass through the intestines for digestion and other things. Okay, so if the breast milk passes through the intestines, is able to seep through, and the child is able to use it, then it will be excreted from the body when it's time for it to. Okay, but the other types of milk are not designed that way. Okay, it seeps through the holes in the intestines, going to the other organs in the bodies, thereby creating a medium for germs to grow, or creating, the common one is allergies. Please, do we understand? I don't want to make this short. Let's continue in another session. Okay.